The Lord be with you. I'm Deacon Keith Fournier, and our first reading is from the book of Ruth. In the days when the judges were governing, a famine occurred in the country, and a certain man from Bethlehem of Judah went, he, his wife, and his 2 sons, to live in the plains of Moab. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she and her 2 sons were left. These married Moabite women. One was called Orpah, and the other Ruth. They lived there for about 10 years. Mahlon and Chilion then both died too, and Naomi was thus bereft of her 2 sons and her husband. She then decided to come back from the plains of Moab with her daughters-in-law, having heard in the plains of Moab that God had visited his people and given them food. They started weeping loudly all over again. Orpah then kissed her mother-in-law and went back to her people, but Ruth stayed with her. Naomi then said, "Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her God. Go home too. Follow your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Do not press me to leave you and to stop going with you, for wherever you go, I shall go. Wherever you live, I shall live. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." This is how Naomi came home with her daughter-in-law, Ruth, the Moabites, on returning from the plains of Moab. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley fest. And our response is from Psalm 146. How blessed is he who has Jacob's God to help him. His hope is in Yahweh his God, who made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them. He keeps faith forever, gives justice to the oppressed, gives food to the hungry. Yahweh sets prisoners free. Yahweh gives sight to the blind, lifts up those who are bowed down. Yahweh protects the stranger. He sustains the orphan and the widow. Yahweh loves the upright, but he frustrates the wicked. Yahweh reigns forever. Your God, Zion, from age to age. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they got together. And to put him to the test, one of them put a further question. "Master, which is the greatest commandment of the law?" Jesus said to him, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second resembles it. You must love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 commandments hang the whole law and the prophets too." The Gospel of the Lord.